Welcome to the Community Hotline, a place where everyday community members can be heard and share their personal experiences with the youth. I'm your host, Bob Fang, and today we have Renee.
Hello, everybody.
I love it. I love it. Tell us tell us two truths and one lie about you.
Oh, two truths. Um, mm, mm, mm. I am not very good at directions. I am clumsy, and I love hiking.
Made it pretty easy for us. I'm gonna go with the hiking. It's not their lie.
Yep, you're right.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Uh, let's get right into it. Let's get into the deep questions. Okay. Are
Okay.
you ready for are you ready for the deepest question that anyone has ever, asked you?
Oh man, when you put it like that, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
I
here
guess
we
so.
go. All right, all right. So the question is, what are three defining moments in your life and how do they impact you?
Whoa. Okay. Oh man. Okay. So, um, mm, I think I was about 10 and I was in school, and I was an anxious kid,
Hmm.
okay? And I tend to get kind of sometimes locked up in myself, like I can't move sometimes when something happens, or when in certain situations, let's just say that. And my teacher had thought that I had done something that I did not do,
Hmm.
and I was trying to defend myself, but in that moment I could not. I was just locked up in myself, and I could not really move throughout the whole day. Really, I was kind of like going in and out, being trapped in myself in a way.
Hmm.
So that kind of impacted me, and in a way I think set the tone for the rest of my life. So it kind of was reoccurring. So I had to. I'd say it was a defining moment because I had to always be careful that it never happened again,
Hmm.
or be aware of the possibility of it happening, and then look at the signs all the time. Get
Okay.
what I mean?
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Oh, I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into that, but I'll let you
Whoa!
continue.
No, no, no.
I'll let you continue on the second one and the third one.
Okay, so oh my god, I've got three. Okay, second one. Uh, 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 uh. This one's good, I think. So my friend, uh, when I was in college, my friend had asked me to go out with them. I've not really had a conversation with her before then, and she was just like, she called me this name, a cute name, which I don't want to say because it's embarrassing. But yeah, she said that, and then she was like, "Hey, let's go," and we went, and we listened to music throughout the trip in the bus, and it was one of the beginning, the first few months of starting college, and it was the first time that I ever felt like I belonged somewhere with someone, and I felt like there was similarities with somebody, and yeah, and that kind of set the tone for my college life, and it
Okay.
made me open up more than when I was back in school.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
Unicel. Do you know the place? Unicel, University Selangor.
Okay. Okay. That's where the king went.
The king went there.
King in Selangor. I don't know. All
No,
right,
I
so
was.
so we have when you were 10 years old, anxiety, college experience, feeling a sense of belonging for the first time. And what's the
Third one. Oh, third one. I was teaching.
you
I'm
were
an
what?
educator. I was an educator. I was
Okay.
teaching in class. And I got a panic attack.
Okay.
And I had to leave the class and uh, uh, go to the toilet, and I just had to relax and calm down. And in that moment, while it was happening, I felt really like everything was out of control. Nothing was really happening. So that was actually the beginning of something, a big shift in my life, I'd have to say. It was in my late 20s.
Mm.
Yeah. So I had to, it's a big, it's a very important moment in my life because everything changed after that. That I wouldn't say it was the first time, but the memory that I have of it is the most strongest one. I guess that's how I'd say it. So I had to. I realized, okay, the realization of everything is going to change after this happened that day. That was
Mm.
why it was important.
Mm.
Yep.
What were you who were you teaching?
English.
For kids or how old were they?
They were college kids. So
Oh,
English for something. So I was a
okay.
tutor. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So many defining moments. I love that. Let's get into the first topic of the day then. Let's talk education.
Oh, education first. Okay.
Let's talk about I mean, since most of your impacting moments happened during your education school years, can you tell us that story? Go deeper into that personal story of when you were 10 years old and that feeling. I'm sure you're not the only person that experiences anxiety, as a child,
Yep.
especially, in Malaysia.
Yeah. So, well, I guess I'd have to start off by saying that I have always been an anxious kid since I was very little, since I can remember anything at all. Okay, so in school it was only it only worsened because I could not cope. One, I could not cope with the environment. Two, I um I I couldn't. I was bullied a lot because I was a fat kid. So I was bullied a lot, and the environment did not help me. So I was always anxious and had always tried to, uh, I was very mindful about it. I knew I was anxious. I was so used to it. So I knew I was anxious, and I always have to plan my uh, uh, presence or plan how I navigate myself in the school environment. So I was not very good at school either. I mean, I was not very good at school as an overall, like learning or making friends or just being in there. It was difficult. It was hard. Um, I didn't get good grades, and I didn't feel smart. My grades weren't good, uh, and I always thought it was because I was not very clever. But you know what? I found out during my time, anyways, when I was still in school, the way we learned and the way we evaluated intelligence was based on examinations, you know? And there were two things they evaluated you on through with the examination. One, your how well you can remember things. Sorry, yeah, how well you can remember things and how well you can um, put them on paper. And I sucked at this too. I mean, I sucked at uh, memorizing information. I sucked at learning anything that did not blow my mind. I had to be really, really, really interested if I wanted to learn something. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. Can you give us a personal story about? Can you describe an anxiety attack? Like, give a personal story about a moment you had this attack, so maybe you can some warning signs for the kids who might be having one, so they know what's going on. Because I'm sure it might be scary. As
Oh,
well.
yeah. Okay, so for me, my personal experience with anxiety attack when I was a kid, uh, or is this a panic attack? So what would happen is I'd start feeling hot on my ears, and I'd start feeling hot and cold. Like my body would heat up, but then I would feel cold. My heart would race. I wouldn't be able to breathe, and I would not be able to even move. I'd be like sort of trapped inside my body. Yeah, and I would not be able to respond to questions directed to me, or yeah.
And how does your teacher take that? You know, when
Oh,
she's
see, that's the thing. A lot of the time they thought I was just rebelling and I was refusing to answer. I was such a rebel. No, I was dying inside. Yeah.
okay. I love that. And what about how would you recommend children deal with anxiety attacks? You know, if their teachers are not helpful and they're in school and they're going through one.
Breathe. When it hits you, the first thing you got to remember is like, I don't know. Okay, you got to become super aware of the fact that it is happening to you. Something is happening to you. You start getting into your body about it. What's happening to my body? What is my body feeling? Okay, but don't think about, at least in my experience, don't think about why it's happening. Just start noticing how your fingers are feeling, how your ears feels, your stomach feels, and just focus on that, and you breathe into it.
Okay.
Breathe into it, and you let go, whatever, because you really need to get hold of your physical sensations. For me, that's what helps. I disconnect from my mind, and I mean the things that are going uh, through my mind, like, oh my god, am I in trouble? Oh my god, is this happening to me? Oh my god, how am I going to answer? No, 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 you stop all of that. Just think, just feel in your body, and when you do that, you immediately kind of, it already starts, you already start feeling relaxed. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Any warning signs? What are your warning signs? What are the warning signs? Like triggers, I guess. What are some things that would? Is it different from
I
everyone
think
or?
so. I think it could be different for every person. For me, um, I wouldn't be able to breathe with ease.
Okay. And then this kept happening as you got older, 12 years old, 13 years old, 15, 17, or did it get better or did it get worse
All my life.
all your life?
Yeah, I still go through it.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
Any I guess what would you say to your younger self, you know?
Well, I'd say that even though you feel like you just like everything is out of control, and like, when that happens so many times to you, and when it continuously happens and you grow up with it, it just becomes so much of you. And the feeling of helplessness, the feeling of, okay, this can be dark. I do not know if you want to include this
Yeah, go
for the
dark,
kids.
super dark.
Okay,
Come
so
on, kids know what's up.
when I get trapped in myself, I there is a sense of doom, like you're gonna die. Like it literally feels like you're dead, and your mind can really, I don't know, in a way, it takes advantage of the situation and really tells you, you know what, you could actually be dead now. You're not moving. How do you know you're alive? It messes with you. It that's how it happens to me. And oh my god, where were we? So where were we? Why am I saying this? I'm
Oh, you're
sorry.
saying like, what would you say to your younger self? You know, who's wondering like,
Okay.
is this gonna
Yeah, right, right,
continue
right,
or?
right, right, right. So even though that happens, and even though you feel like you're dead, you're always gonna come back alive. Like that you're not dead. And I will tell my 16-year-old self that even though it that all that happens to you, you still do some really fun stuff, and you really do some stuff that you think you could never ever do. And even if it's something that you're gonna have to live with, you're still gonna do stuff. You don't have to worry about it being taking away um, great things from happening.
Okay. Moving on to the next one, which is when you went to college and you felt a sense of belonging. Tell us that story. Personal
So when I went to,
experience.
so when I went to college, um, I met a bunch of friends, and I felt connected to them. In school, I did not. I was also the chubby kid who got bullied. In college, I was not that chubby, and I kind of sort of got a little bit better looking. So people treated me differently, and it's true how people treat you when your physical appearances change. Okay, so I realized that in college, and I suddenly became quite popular. I I was in disbelief at one point, but yeah, so life was good. I did a lot of fun stuff, did a lot of things that I thought I would never do. Public speaking. I was being trained to be a teacher. So you had to do a lot of presentation almost every class. You got to go up to the front, which in school I would have never thought I could do. Yeah, so and I really became someone who loved speaking in front. I loved teaching. I loved kids, and it was great. It was perfect. So college was really fun, and it really showed me who I really was. So college really, really helped me figure out what I'm about, what I can do, the kind of person that I can be.
Loved it. Can you
Yeah.
go a little bit more in detail about bullying? You know, can you share a personal experience on
Okay,
like
so how they bullied me.
yeah.
So mm, they uh, uh, they call me names, of course. They try to. I was locked in a cubicle in the toilet, and they wouldn't let me out. They called me names. Many different things happened at different times.
This was
Uh,
girls. Girls were bullying you,
yep,
and
girls.
this is a Malay school or or what kind of school is
Yeah,
this?
yeah, it's Sekolah Kebangsaan.
Is
Yeah,
that
Malay
a
school.
okay? These were Malay girls bullying you, or other
No,
Indian.
Indian girls.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
those gangster types, those like I'm the school punk type of girls. Yeah.
okay. And what would you? How do you deal with bullies? You know, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, at that time I didn't deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. I did not tell anybody about it. It was hard, and you don't feel. It really affected my confidence and um, self concept. However, however, it made me a very empathetic person. And it always made me look out for others that are younger than me, or other people, other kids that were bullied even more. and I don't know, character building in a way.
Okay. What would you tell your younger self? If you went back in time, you know, what are some anti-bully tips?
Anti-bully tips. I'd say
Or how do
tell
you,
somebody. Tell somebody.
huh? Tell
Tell
somebody?
somebody. Yeah. Don't keep it to yourself.
Why did you keep it to yourself?
Oh man, I knew you were gonna ask me this question. Oh, so I have this thing. Uh, I don't know why. Okay, like I said, this whole anxiety thing and panic attack thing, it had been happening to me since I was a very young kid, six,
Mm.
7. And for some reason, it was something that I should not be sharing to anybody. It was always a secret. I don't know why. It is just the way it is. It's just like that. And I just grew up with everything that happened to me. I must keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody. I don't know why. Maybe there was shame in it. Uh, there was like maybe that not. I don't know. I think maybe I was scared.
A lot to be scared of.
Mm.
Makes
When you're a
sense.
kid, especially.
Okay. Well, I'd like to a little bit more on the background of that. Well, I get to that a little bit later. But let's move on to the next topic, which is love. You know, what is love?
Okay. Love. Okay, so to me, you know how uh, like everything else, the way you understand love begins with your parents.
Mm.
Like for me, it begins specifically with my mother. Okay, and you don't learn what love is based on the things they tell you about love, not based on the things, the words they use to teach you about love, but you learn to love based on how they show love, right? And um, to me, the way my mother showed love, uh, it was always about them first, you second. So the way my mother showed love to us was she'd always put everybody before herself. And that's, I don't know if it had been, if it had worked out that well for me, that kind of love. Uh, because when you do it as much as she did, it's very deteriorating for yourself.
Personal experience, personal story.
Okay, mm, well, I can't. Okay, when you're always trying to figure out what the other person is feeling, will they be comfortable with it? Will they be okay with it? Would they want it? Would they need it? What can I do for them? When the focus is always about another person, and you're always trying to bend and fold and always trying to uh, make yourself okay for them, it's just really not good for yourself. You're gonna miss out on the things that make you you. You're gonna not understand about yourself. There are times where, I mean, I understand that love means, it's not being selfish, but there is a difference between being selfish and taking care of yourself and loving yourself. And I think young people should also learn about loving themselves and understand the difference between being selfish and what loving yourself means. And loving yourself means that you understand, or you take time to understand who you are, what are your needs, and what how you want to be treated, basically, because you are also deserving of love, and you should also be receiving love. When your focus on is on about other people in your life, you're constantly thinking about who they are, what they are about. Especially when you're young, you need to know. You really, really, I think, especially in your teens, it's that time that you think about who am I? What do I need? What am I about? Is this comfortable for me? And if it's not, how am I gonna uh, address this situation with friends, with family, boyfriend, girlfriend? Yeah.
Love that. What? So you mean that your mom? I just want to clarify. Your mom put others first before she put her family first, or before she put
No,
you
no, she put
first
her family first, her family and everybody else first before
before her?
herself.
Got it, got it. So she put you
Yeah.
first. She put your dad first, your sister first, before she put herself first.
Mm. And
What
what I
is?
really, yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
Continue.
so what I realized is my mom is such a creative person, a very intelligent person. Um, she's very childlike and very fun. And but because she put everybody else before her, she kind of, this is my opinion, I feel like she lost parts of herself and the magic that she had. She's, I don't know, to me she's such a magical little creature, and I see glimpses of it. And because she did not take the time to, like, oh, you know what, even with something as simple as taking the time, and I'm gonna do this because this interests me, this is fun to me, I like doing this. Even by not doing that, she had lost parts of herself. And as a daughter to a mother, it's important that you learn from your mother that um you take the time for yourself to do the things that you love, that interest you, you as a person, as an individual. You give importance to who you are as a person before you think about who you are to everybody else. This is something, I don't know, in my experience, daughters learn from mothers, and it is important that mothers also um, demonstrate that.
Love it. What's your relationship with your mother like now?
Oh, we're great. She's my best friend. I'm on the phone with her all the time, telling her about the littlest things. And she's
Nice.
always like excited to listen to anything I've got to say. So I love it.
I love it. What about your dad?
My dad, well, that's a whole other story. My dad, he's a tough guy, you know? He's like, we bond over whiskeys on Saturdays these days. But growing up, it wasn't like that at all. I was really mm, scared in a way. I didn't know how to connect with them. Uh, we didn't really have a great relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Tough Guy, I know a lot of kids have trouble communicating with their parents. You as a child, what would you say to your younger self, knowing what you know now? How would you try to talk to your parents, or how would you try to build a relationship with your dad if you were younger, knowing what you know now?
I don't know, man. Even with what I know now, I still don't think I could have figured out. I'll be honest, I don't know.
Okay. That's okay. Maybe next time, next Saturday whiskeys, you should ask him, yo, Dad, how would I talk to you if we were back in time? Maybe he'll share.
I think he wouldn't know what to say either. He'd be like, "Why are you asking me questions like this?"
Because we're
Difficult.
drinking
My dad,
whiskey. Duh.
now we drink whiskey, listen to Deep Purple or Bob Marley, and we can like dance and all of that. But cannot get down to the conversations. We can sing songs together.
But you can't talk together.
At 35, I don't know if you want to put this in or not. I don't know. But at 35, I still struggle to have a decent conversation with him. He's so closed off.
Well, I'm just happy you shared that. I'm sure there's people in their 40s and 50s who have tough conversations with their parents.
Yep.
How do you show love to others?
How do I show love to others? Well, I'm a Leo. I like buying people gifts. So I buy people gifts. I give a lot of compliments. Oh my God. I realized when I uh when I show love to people or when I like somebody, I'm like, I give a lot of compliments. Maybe I may have made people uncomfortable. I don't know. But that's just how it is with me.
Got it. And how do you receive love?
People listening to me. I mean, I don't how I receive, how I like, or how I feel loved, I would say, is when people pay attention to the things that I say and get excited for me for my, anything that I'm excited about. Because I tend to get excited about things and I like to share things. And most of the time, people don't care because it's boring or something. So when somebody makes the um, initiative or the effort to, oh, tell me more, I'm like, you love me.
I love
Yeah.
that. Love that. To be heard. Let's
Yep.
move on to the last topic of the day, which is going to be money. What is money?
Oh, money to me, my relationship with money is like, it's like having a crush on someone uh, that you think is way out of your league. Like, you're constantly like, I want you, I love you, I think you're cute, have me. But money's like, oh, hey, you exist. I kind of like you too. Yeah, I think you're kind of cute, but nah, I'm not gonna get with you. Kind of not my type. You know, that's how I feel money feels about me.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about your other experience, your defining moment about when you were teaching and you had the panic attack. Was that a career change, or can you kind of explain that personal story?
Changed my whole life. So that first, okay, see, panic attacks are something that I'm so used to throughout my life. I kind of know when it's about to happen to me. I get into a what's the word, flight and fright situation, which, like I told you earlier, you get locked up in your body. You think you're gonna die. Your brain says a lot of bad stuff, and all that happens. You usually, because I was so used to it, because I knew it since I understood what happens to me ever since I was a kid. I always knew the signs, and I'd always be able to navigate myself through the situation very, very well. Actually, a lot of people didn't even know. A lot of people that are really close to me didn't even know I had something like that going on ever since I was a really young kid. So I was really good at it, and I believed I was good at it until uh, that day. Because after that day, it happened again and again and really frequently. And I could not leave the house. I could not go to anywhere. Uh, okay. Losing control of your body while you're still wide awake, your mind is wide awake, you know you're alive, but your body feels dead, is a kind of helplessness that haunts you. So when it happens frequent enough, you keep feeling continuously helpless and you are in constant fear and anticipating when it's going to happen next. Um, and I was just, I couldn't get through a day uh, at peace. I loved my job, but I could not do it. So I would go into class, and a lot of like the moment some like the students start discussing, and I was no longer like when you're speaking in the class, everything's like still uh quiet enough for you to focus and do things. Like in my experience, that um but when it got a little too noisy, and they started discussing among themselves, uh, I would start uh, I would start feeling difficult to breathe, and I know I was gonna have an episode, and I'd have to run away to the toilet, and you can't teach if you run away to the toilet all the time. Your job is to teach. Your job is to be in the class.
Hmm.
So uh, that kept happening, and I didn't. It made me not want to teach anymore. It made me not want to be in front of the class anymore. And of course, I went to the I went to see a doctor, and I was told I had ADHD, anxiety, and panic disorder. And some of the things that happened when I was younger was also at play, and which had put my body into a constantly heightened state, which made me have panic attacks a lot. So it was a combination of things. Where are we heading with this? Sorry, I lost
And
track.
and and where are you? What are you doing for work now?
I am a freelancer. I started out proofreading and editing research thesis papers, and now I do content writing as well, sometimes copy. Um, yeah, that's what I do. I write now, which I'm
Great.
really happy.
Would you ever go back to teaching?
I don't think I want to work for anybody. Like I need to be able to have control of how I that I have in the space to do what I gotta do. When you're working for somebody, you gotta follow certain, you know. I don't think that works for me. Too much. I get overwhelmed, and I get overwhelmed, and I have no control. I get into that state, and nothing happens. You know. I mean, everything doesn't work out. Everything goes wrong. That's what I meant.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing with us today on the community hotline. Do you have any last words for the kids?
Mm, tell people if stuff is happening to you, feeling something that you don't feel good about, talk to people. Talk to your friends. Talk to your parents. Talk to your teacher. Somebody. Um, be aware of how feelings feel in your body. Understand how your body reacts. Get connected with your body. Do the things that make your body feel good. It will help you feel good inside.
Okay. And where can people find you if they want to reach back out and ask for help?
As for help, well, I've got an Instagram account. Um,
Can they send you a
Renee.
DM?
Yeah, send me a DM. I've got no problem at all. I really would love to help.
Okay.
Really?
The Instagram is Renee underscore Crouch, right?
Yeah, I think so. If you can, yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Got it. Just last final words. If you are in the US and you are listening and you need someone to talk to, if you're going through suicidal thoughts,
I'm
please
sorry, I
text
can't hear
home to
you.
seven.
Sorry, I
Oh,
can't hear you. What did you say?
I was just doing a spiel for the listeners right now.
Oh, sorry,
Oh.
sorry, sorry. Continue.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just saying that if you're based in the U.S. and America and you need someone to talk to, if you're going through suicidal thoughts, and you feel helpless, feel free to text home to 741-741. That is a national crisis hotline. And if you're in Malaysia and you need someone to talk to, you can text or WhatsApp 6018-9888-058. That is also a national hotline. And before I forget, all I ask is that if you're feeling generous and you do consider supporting the community hotline, you can send us some funds at community hotline. And that's about it, guys. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great time, and we'll see you next time. See ya.